Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek bonus round, Spoilercast for Shang-Chi. I'm one of the hosts, Jim Gass, joined by Mike Sneedy.
What's up?
Corey Feinsod.
Hey.
And Tony Korkanakis.
Yo.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, listeners and viewers, to a bonus round for Shang-Chi. We mentioned this last week. We actually mentioned it on the movie cast this week, if you had listened to that first. We gotta do a Spoilercast for this. We all four of us saw it. And again, it's usually not a rarity for movies, but with COVID, that is a rarity. So we have to do a Spoilercast for this movie. Mike just saw it recently, which is nice and fresh, and we saw it last week, opening weekend. Movie's doing great, for those wondering, and we're gonna get into it right now. So if you have not seen it or care, if you haven't seen it, and you don't care about spoilers, you can listen. But we are going to talk spoilers, so don't spoil it for yourself. Okay, that's your last warning. So, this movie was, this movie was. I really had a lot of fun. Like, I really enjoyed it. Now, Mike, I'm really interested. I don't want to just jump into the martial arts aspect of this thing. I'm so interested to talk to you about why you felt like it changed. It wasn't a martial arts flick, but I overall felt like this movie was so cool to see because it didn't feel like a Marvel movie. Most of it, like, it really didn't. They throw like sprinklings of the Marvel universe into it, but it was pretty much on its own. So I really enjoyed it, and I really, with the exception of Awkwafina, I felt like all the characters were really well done, and I didn't hate her, but I don't like her. Is the best way I can say it. So I don't know. It's just her voice. I can't with that voice. I just can't do it. It smells like she smoked.
Ashley actually said it sounded like her voice sounds like gravel.
Yeah.
It's not the smoothest, but
yeah, it just it's like she had smoked 20 packs of cigarettes and then spoken to a microphone. Like, I'm just like, she's sounds like that woman that over smoked way too much. And I every time she talked, I just kept hearing that. Even though I liked her character arc and the changes that she had made, I didn't like overall, I just didn't like her portrayal of the character, I guess is the best way to say it. So that's to me. But let's go. Let's get into this movie. So this is, we've talked about this, but it is interesting kickoff. It's kind of a what is going on. We get there.
So, the thing is that I was kind of curious about is when do you think this movie takes place? Because
that's the question. Yeah,
they say present day, and I got thrown off.
But present day is different from it could be. It's not our present day because this is the future for Marvel, right? Because it's
they don't remember that.
But I think we're caught up now, right?
No, I thought we were ahead still because of the 5-year blip. So we're ahead of that. We are ahead of that.
Nightmare.
But I think it's 2024-ish, 2023, somewhere around there, maybe. But from the timeline stuff that I saw, apparently this is supposed to take place at the same time that Far From Home takes place.
So were we watching movies in the future for the next few movies? That's confusing, but okay. So don't say present day then.
Well, we jumped 5 years ahead, so
yeah, I know. Yeah, but we get the earlier. It started off with a past, right? We got to meet the villain.
Well, it starts off with the villain.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember that.
You get to see him use the rings and get his little backstory of being 1,000 years old.
Well, the Mandarin, which was, by the way, hilarious.
So apparently this movie taught me that the Mandarin is Marvel's Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah. I mean, I always got that vibe.
He doesn't call himself the Mandarin, which is kind of like a little retcon because they don't want to get into the whole PC Asian stereotype type thing, I think.
I guess that probably makes sense to do it that way. That's me. I mean, I can't, I don't know that aspect of it if it's insulting. So obviously they want to keep it that way, keep it PC, and I'm okay with that character making fun of that name because I thought it was kind of hilarious to do that. Because I always thought it was named after an orange, which I thought was really a great line from this movie. But you got to see this guy really kick some serious ass, conquer the world essentially. Eternal life with the rings. And Corey, you had mentioned the rings, that you love the way they did
Mhm.
them, right? I mean,
Yeah, no, I think that their implementation or their interpretation of these was far better than what are in the comics. In the comics, they're just actually finger rings. Here, they're like bracers on your
Bracers, yeah,
like
yeah.
forearms, and kind of like the Chinese weighted rings that you see on like monks and stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like that, and then just the utility of them, like they can be whips, they can be like shields. It was very impressive what they did with the
it's
utilization
basically
of the
like
rings.
what your mind can come up with them to do.
Yeah,
That's what it
yeah,
felt like
pretty
to me.
much.
Better than
Um,
Green Lantern.
Yeah, it was like a Green Lantern, what you would expect from the Green Lantern rings. Yes, that's it.
Oh.
Whatever your mind can imagine, essentially. So yeah, so we had the intro, we had him conquering the world,
And then he
going-
meets the love of
meets
his life.
future wife, yeah, love of
And-
his life, which is the drive of the movie for
Yeah.
both sides. You know, that him and the main character, essentially. So yeah, we get to meet her and the the mysterious guarded,
How long? Or
yeah, which I don't know. I thought it was a cool artsy looking bamboo forest, which was good, but I don't know. Where do we go from there? What happened? So obviously he has a fight with her, and they have. Did you guys like that fight sequences? Like that was like my first like real good fight sequence. I felt like it was like
That one,
was cool.
that one was like, oh, so very much Crouching Tiger right
yes,
Yeah.
that was the
Mhm.
Chinese.
yeah, it was very much.
Wire
I
fighting.
think I mentioned it in our,
It was like a dance.
yeah, and you see how his approach is very forceful and strong.
Combative, yeah.
Yeah, and hers is that
Flowy.
Tai
Open
Chi,
hand, yeah.
wushu stuff, and so more
Using her opponent's
Fluid.
energy against them.
yeah, exactly, and you could see how it was the perfect thing to counter what he had, and they were basically opposites, and so opposites attract, I suppose. And you got little baby Shang-Chi, and then we jump to the present after that, I believe.
Yeah, so then with him waking up.
No, in
and-
between you jump to when he's a little kid, which is what confused me
sure.
because there was
Right.
no other prompt in the age difference.
I
from
love that they
96
got the
to
little
90.
bowl cut for the little the Asian boy.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
like, yep.
Is it very
Every little
classic?
Asian boy has
is it a
that.
very classic Asian haircut? Is that what that is? Like it's
Yeah.
like okay.
Yep.
I never knew
and
that.
I mean,
when
Luke
he
and I
saw
had
him,
that, man.
I know you guys had it, but I didn't know it was like classic. Sorry.
Yep. But you get the little jade necklace, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yep,
little
more
dragon
definitely.
talk.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I like that because it was his mom telling, him about how they like his parents met and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
it kind of tied in, the viewer learning about it, but also, Shang-Chi learning about, his history and stuff like that and how it was framed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was good. And then we go to present day where we see.
I like
the
the
little
fake out
fake
there.
out.
I love
Hmm?
the fake. That was
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. I was gonna say we'll get the little fake out with
Yeah.
the guy driving the like sweet car, and he cuts out, and it's not Shang-Chi. It's
Yeah.
Shang-Chi's the
He's a valet driver.
Yep.
And he so we get that with the Aquafina character introduction,
Mhm.
which I thought was annoying at that point. Straight annoying. Like I was like, oh, I do not like this character whatsoever.
Yeah, she you couldn't get
I mean,
rid
you
of her.
gotta
after
know
that
what
either.
you're getting into.
She's a
I-
brand, man. She's a brand.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was getting into with her really. I don't.
That's
you
why
know,
the thing, like I've seen her in so many
After
things
a
now.
brand, yeah.
I'm just like, this is toned down Aquafina. This
No,
is,
that's what
this
I was
is
saying.
watered down
This is like
Aquafina. This is watered down.
Watered
Water.
down.
Watered
Without
down
the
water.
minerals added for taste.
Yep.
That's a
But
great
no,
title for a
it was
podcast.
funny because I like you were saying that I was saying actually I think she was much like I liked her character in this because she was much more toned down and not outrageous and her
My
usual self.
only other exposure to her was when she hosted SNL once, like a couple years back.
Mm.
Like I don't know anything about her. I saw her on that and I'm like, who is this and why?
She was
This
in
was
Crazy
kind of
Rich
my
Asians.
reaction.
She was in the Ocean's 8. She has her show Nora from Queens.
Yeah,
So
I
I've
didn't
seen
watch
a
any
few
of
that
those.
stuff.
Yeah, I didn't see any of those. Ocean's 8. Was it?
Is she like an actress?
I didn't see that
first,
either.
Or what
Actor
is she?
slash rapper.
You know?
Rapper. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we get their joyride in the BMW, which was a BMW sponsored movie, clearly, as we'll get into it later, with the electric BMW, which I thought was hilarious. I'm like, they would kill that battery. There's no way they're making it there. But, that's what I was thinking though. When he didn't even have it plugged in when they got the car, I'm like, there's no way that thing's full
There's
charge.
no way.
No way. So they're running the AC at all. They're done. They're not making that run.
Hey, maybe in 3 years they have wireless charging, dude.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Maybe the capacities are like, 700 miles and you're fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So anyway, so we had the BMW M8 or whatever that was. I don't even know what that was. But it was super fast and they took it for a joyride. And yeah, so we get that joyride sequence. And then the dinner with the friends, which the friends were hilarious. Like those were a perfect, like, down to earth, like people, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, here's the real people. And you can see the changing of the, I mean? I just love that. I don't know. I really did, but
they were shitty friends. I mean, I don't know.
Oh,
if those are friends.
But
in
everybody
real life,
has those. Everybody
I
has
don't
they're
those.
know.
the
I would
friends-
just like
The
literally just sit there and,
judgmental
yeah,
and
they're the
like
friends that
fuck
are like,
off.
they're the friends that were friends before, and they're like, we're better than you at this point. And they just,
where
like,
have you done with your life? Look at
Yeah.
us now. It's like,
yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I like them even the come back to that later on at the end of the movie. I thought that was great. Or they was that
payoff
post-credit? That was
at the end.
post-credit, wasn't it? Yeah. So
That was
Um,
mid credits. Yeah.
mid-credit scene. That's right, there were two.
no, I think, was it?
So the
That was the
postcard,
mid.
the postcard that arrives, that was after that. That was right now, right? Like, you got that postcard?
That was
Ooh.
after that.
I mean, the
I still-
postcard came a while before. Like
Did
he's
I
had that.
still don't understand that postcard.
It's
Where'd that-
just
His dad
from
sent it to him.
Dad.
Yeah, I know.
Every-
Like, I don't understand, like,
everything
drawing
is
the
from
dragon. I
his
didn't know he knew
League
that.
of Assassins or whatever.
He
but, yeah.
he says he knew everything about his kids. He was just letting
Okay.
them do their thing, and he wanted them together.
Okay. No, I didn't feel like I felt like that personal touch from the mom kind of things where the sister would know it. I didn't know that the dad knew that. So I was like, okay, I felt like that was, I didn't understand that part, but no, okay, get it. So he gets that letter and thinks his sister's in trouble, so he has to go see her. Well, he didn't think that
Well,
at that
no,
point.
that's
Doesn't think
not.
it at that
Yeah,
point. I'm
that's
sorry.
not. Yeah.
Gets on the train, which we had our first
The
real
bus.
Us.
The bus.
Bus.
Sorry, the bus. I thought it was like a trolley. I thought it was
Bus
a trolley.
boy, man.
There's a
Come on,
bus.
bus boy.
Oh, that's right, bus boy. That guy was hilarious. Oh my
That's
god.
the same guy from Spider-Man, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Do a flip,
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Come on, Spider-Man, do a flip. Yeah,
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
I love they got that guy. So we had the fight sequence
I didn't know
on
that.
the bus.
Yeah.
And it was a great fight
That
sequence.
I
was-
love his comments. Like, I did a few little martial arts, so I'm
gonna
gonna comment this.
I'm gonna try to comment on this. Yeah.
So good.
It was-
But yeah, like Aquafina does not know anything about his. What was her name in this movie? God, I don't even remember.
Is it just
now.
like Kate?
Is it
I
Kate?
something
don't
like that?
remember her-
Oh, yeah, I think it was. I'm thinking it was Katie. Yeah, because like I watched
Katie,
that movie Kate,
yeah.
and I'm like, it's not Kate. It's one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like how she's like she didn't know anything about this whole side of him, and she's like, this guy can't fight, and like she's telling the friends of the story, like, oh, like I gotta save him from this fight and whatever.
Yeah.
And then here we go.
But I did like the mysterious aspect where, like, he basically gave that life up for 10 years essentially, and that came back later on. That was mentioned, which I thought was, to make sure they, push down that aspect of the storyline where the father just let him do that to try to find himself essentially. But yeah, so that whole sequence was fantastic. Great fight sequence with Sword Arm, Mr. Sword Arm. man.
Razor Fist. Come
It's-
on.
I don't know who these people are. Like, they're
Razor
actual
Fist.
villains.
His name is on the side of his car they stole.
It's a stupid name. If that's his name.
It's just a
Razor.
shame that we can't
And he's
have
also-
Laser Fist meet Laser Face.
Yes.
Right?
That's a.
But like
wow.
they were also like he had a mixtape in his vehicle that he was playing when they stole
Yeah,
it.
it did.
Yeah.
But no, that fight scene was awesome. Just
Yeah.
like
No,
Even before
I
they
think it
get
is
into
my
it.
favorite scene in the movie, honestly, the bus one.
Yeah, I
see
think that was. I can
Yeah,
see that.
that's
Yeah,
one of
that's
the better
pretty good.
I like the scaffolding one. I think just a little bit better.
Yeah, we get to
They were both good.
get to that soon. Actually, like, he decides he's going to find his sister after this. After they take his jade necklace.
Mhm. Well, like Razor Fist says, like you and your sister, like something like that. He's like,
Yeah.
he basically says, like, we're coming for you guys.
So yeah, we get the Fight Club sequence where he goes in. I love the Asian dude that was like, I don't even. That's his
Just
character.
before we
Oh,
move on from the bus, real quick, why like you're going downhill? Why not just try to U-turn it and try to go uphill? Like, why didn't you do that?
Because it's a bus, man. You can't turn
Yeah, I
a
don't
U-turn
know
on
how
a
you're
bus.
gonna
It'll
do that.
flip.
I don't think there's enough room there.
Not
in those
like
roads
not
either.
like not on the same street, but there's like, you know, all the side stuff. Like she kept doing turns, but she never would go back.
Oh,
and
you're
try to
saying
go-
like keep doing rights or lefts or something like that.
yeah, like just try to go like up so that way your momentum slows down.
I
It's
don't
not
know, man.
speed. We're not like talking about trying to keep it over 50 miles an hour here.
I don't know, man. I've never done this before. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just kept thinking that like you're going downhill, like maybe try to go uphill so you slow down. That's what I was thinking.
I don't know. But yeah, so we had the
And
Fight
slide
Club.
backwards.
The Fight Club sequence was where did they travel to for that? Did they have a city name for that?
They said something. I don't remember what
Ow.
it is.
Oh, was it? Okay. So they went to the Fight Club. We meet the guy at the elevator was awesome. I thought he was
He's
great
a
the entire
comedian.
movie.
He's got some good stuff.
Is he a comedian? That's
Yeah.
great. I thought he was fantastic. And we get the fight sequence where he signs the contract to do a Fight Club, and I thought that was great too. And it's just and we get a surprise cameo character from the Hulk.
Well, before that, like the small stuff, just real quick, there
Sure.
was a Black Widow in one of those that was in like the same. Apparently, she's the same actress that was in Black Widow. She's one of the widows, and her like she's credited as Widow in this movie.
Oh, really?
Oh,
In
there's
that in the clubs, like
Yeah.
the low level stuff.
It's low level fights, yeah.
Yeah, we
Like,
did all low
interesting.
level fights. Okay, I thought that was great. So yeah, we get Abomination against
Yeah.
Wong.
More
What is-
comic
what
book
is-
accurate Abomination, also.
Yeah, it is. And what is Wong doing? Like Fight Club Wong?
And they know each other apparently. They're just like hanging out, and after the fight,
He took them back. Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like Wong might have been trying to rehabilitate or something because,
Mhm.
or I don't know, warden, or I don't know what the appropriate thing is, but I'm wondering if that is building more towards a Thunderbolt.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what is Val doing? Val's still like she's got U.S. Agent. She's got
Yeah,
Florence Pugh's Black Widow. Whatever. I don't know what she
Yeah.
calls herself, but
the new
yeah. I
Black
mean,
Widow.
it's definitely Thunderbolts. I think
yeah,
as well. I
sounds right.
agree with you, Tony.
So, yeah, so we get the Fight Club sequence where he has to face basically his sister. It was
Yeah,
his
I
sister.
kind of was like a little disappointed in that.
This fight was disappointing to me. I
Yeah,
think.
Yeah,
well, it was
because-
not. I'm not going to fight you kind of thing, and that was
Yeah.
fine.
And also, like I don't know. Yeah, it just it was just a bad fight and bad. It was, yeah, I don't like it.
It was very rushed though. They didn't feel rushed in the sequence where like he meets her, they fight, they go to the talk room, like they go to her meeting room, they get infiltrated
Yeah.
and they leave. Like it just was a very quick sequence to get them out of that place.
Yeah.
It was almost a staging sequence to get them on the scaffolding. That's really what
Mhm.
it was. So which was a great sequence, don't get me wrong, but it was almost like this whole thing was just to stage that.
Yeah.
And even when she came back, like I'm like, she left. Why did she, she took an elevator, didn't she? Like I thought we saw her take an elevator.
Yeah, secret
Um,
elevator. I mean, that was definitely the main point, but I think the sub point, which ties into the ending, was her having her own like
Right.
illegal
Empire.
underground
Sure, and she wants her
right.
own stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like he built an empire. I can build my own empire. Whatever she
Right,
says
yeah.
at that
He was
point.
the power broker.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Very similar to that in that
Yep.
show.
Yeah.
And the whole
so-
like women can't participate thing was,
Yeah, that was prevalent through the movie. From just her father, basically. That was it. That was his motto, essentially. So we get the great, probably, I think my favorite action sequence of the movie because it felt very Jackie Chan-ish, which I love.
This is 100% Jackie Chan
Mhm.
because
Yeah,
like the scaffolding was like entirely like just him using the environments to
Yep.
like do all these
it had that rush
flips and
hour
tricks. Yeah.
Yeah,
feel
not even
to
just
it.
Rush Hour, but even just normal Jackie, like just Jackie Chan. Like
Well, I mean,
using the
like
environment,
we
yeah.
talked about it in the movie cast last week. Brad Allen, God rest his
Mhm.
soul. He was part of the Jackie Chan Sun team and did a lot of stuff with that, and so he was very, very much influenced, I would say.
Yeah, and it was just such a great sequence. I think it was my favorite. The bamboo was going to come into play with it breaking and folding outwards, and like I'm like, you have to do these classic sequence. So yeah, I thought it was awesome. I just love that whole thing, and his sister came back and helped out, and even.
I mean, the Death Dealer fight before they even get into the scaffolding was fantastic.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
not before, after.
That
that was
Yes, it
after.
was
That was after.
after.
Yes.
Yeah, after. 'cause
So we
his dad
finally, we do
comes.
get that. Is that who that was? I didn't even know his name in the entire movie.
Yeah,
They
he's
never
never
say it.
named. It's just that's what
I think in the
everybody is.
posters they talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, his character I thought was really awesome, but I didn't know anything about him. I'm like, I don't know who this is. I don't know any of these characters. I'm just like,
Hmm.
I think this character is really cool. Clearly, it's a boss. I just
Mid boss.
don't
I would say
know.
mid boss.
He's a mid boss. Okay, I give him mid boss.
Mhm.
But like clearly, because he's got color and he's all, you know what I mean? Like
He's
different.
different. Yeah.
yeah, he's different. So
He's got like an outfit.
he's not a peon. Yeah, so I did enjoy that sequence with the father interrupting at the end there. Was
Yeah,
really
I just thought it was so badass how like one who just shows up and he's like, yeah, I told my men they wouldn't be able to kill you, but
yeah, that was really great. That was
it's
awesome.
like, damn, dude, like how many of your dudes just fell off this building? I don't know, like whatever.
Yeah.
You know, guess you have good insurance plans.
It must be good employee benefits.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, I don't know. That was great. Then they basically follow him back to his palace of the League of Shadows, right, Mike?
Mhm.
Yeah, no, that was very reminiscent of that to me. But yeah,
That's what I got. Yeah, I got the League of Shadows vibe in that point. That's why, like, when you said Ra's al Ghul, I was like, okay, it's I get it too. It's like I
I
can see
mean,
that.
it's the League of Assassins in the comics.
Okay.
I think they're like two separate things, but like one's like they're front facing, whatever. It's
Well, they couldn't be a League of Assassins in a PG-13 movie, apparently.
Batman
Yeah,
the Animated
that's what they like
Series, too.
during
Yeah.
the making of it. I think they said something about they had to change.
No,
it.
I think that was based for the animated series originally, but whatever.
Yeah, I think it was.
or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I'm
But
almost
anyway, yeah,
certain
it's very much that. But it was cool compound he had, obviously, and him being an all-powerful, like immortal
I
doesn't
will
hurt.
say, like I don't know why in that compound I got the vibes of what was it? Surf Ninjas. I don't know why. Corey, did you get that? Oh, come on, man, you got to see it. I don't know why.
I didn't think of that, but now that you
This
mentioned it,
guy's
it's pretty
training
funny.
like in the yeah. I just got that immediately. I was laughing a little bit in the theater. I was like, oh, I was smiling. I'm like, okay, but it's comedy for those who don't know. Very like B movie comedy, but yeah. So we get this sequence with them and the father and I guess the pendants, really, right? That was really great. Next,
Well, we had the awkward family dinner.
Mhm.
that was great. That was
With
great.
the
That was
orange
good.
that you loved, your old
Yeah.
orange mention.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
They get some
The
actor
Mandarin
to
comment.
to
He talks about
basically
Trevor.
dismantle the U.S. government, and
yep.
he does.
Yep. And they have that cool sequence with the, like you said, the pendants, which become the eyes of the dragon. They have that like water map
Water
or whatever. Like
sequence, which
that.
is really cool.
I thought that was a really cool CGI sequence.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And then everybody's like, he's like, yeah, we're gonna find this city and we're gonna burn it down. It's like, oh, okay.
But
It's like,
extreme, right, bud? Like,
that's drastic, buddy. Like that's
yeah. I mean, he's been
that's
conquering the world since he was like, so I was like, okay, maybe that's not that drastic for him because that's his old
Yeah,
style.
that's the thing though, a little bit about this for me. Like he's been conquering the world, but then where's he been? Like,
Well, he
lately?
stopped when he met the love of his life.
Yeah, but that was a while before. Yeah, like 10 years before.
Well, he went to research where the city was. So he
That's
put the
all he
rings
did for
back
10
on.
years?
Well, but apparently, like they said it in the movie, like he put the rings back on immediately when she passed, and he was
Yeah.
like corrupted at that point, essentially. And so I think he was looking for that city himself, and that's when he found out about the pendants.
I guess to me, like he conquered the world and like he's just hidden somewhere and no one ever knows who he is. Like I don't know. Even before that, it seems.
But I mean, like
strange to me.
if you're around for thousands of years and like you've done everything, it's like, I don't need to be in the limelight here. I run everything. I don't need to be like he's the shadows. I mean, that's
He
it.
It looks to me like he runs like 100 people in a little.
Well,
getaway.
apparently, because he disbanded the whole thing when he met his wife. They talked about that.
Okay.
He was rebuilding the whole thing. He wants to rebuild everything. So they said they talked about that. So, anyways, we had a great sequence, and then we had my favorite comic sequence of the movie with Trevor. Like I thought that was so awesome to have him in the next part of this movie and the next half of this movie after this. I don't know why. I just like it's Ben Kingsley, right? That's who plays him. Yeah.
Yep.
And I mean, that character was so controversial from Iron Man 3. I hated him. Like I fucking hated that character. I thought it was so stupid what they did to him. I loved the Mike. Did you watch the jail?
Oh,
Trevor-
Hail the King or something.
Hail the
Oh,
Hail the King.
No.
Yeah, it was great. It's
On
great. You should
Disney
watch it.
Plus.
Yeah, you should watch it. It's really good. It ties that whole thing with Trevor and what went on in jail. And
All right. He told me enough.
so I thought it was great. And I don't know, I just liked his character. And then the weird it thing that comes out. But acting Trevor was just great.
Morris. Ashley loved Morris. She falls for the, Disney cute
The
CGI
cutesy-
creature every time.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the Jar Jar Binks.
The real versions of those are pretty ugly. I realize in like art, like mythical, like whatever they're like, they have like chicken legs instead. They're not really like, they're more feathery
You gotta
and
make it
furry.
cute and cuddly, man. We're in the age of baby Groot and baby Yoda. Come on.
Yeah.
You gotta get that the children's sales.
And there's
from them.
plushies of that too, man. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no face,
Absolutely.
a no face plushie. Think about that.
No
That's
face.
fucking weird.
Hello,
She-
dude.
So yeah,
he was really fun. Like, I was expecting maybe like a cameo or a reference, and I thought the dinner, like the Mandarin thing, I thought that was the only be the mention
me too.
of like that whole Iron Man 3 link, and then it's like, no, he's just in this movie. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like,
I love
when
that
he,
he stuck
when he
around.
tagged
That was
along,
fun.
I was like, is he actually? We got him now. This is it. He's in this. So yeah,
So-
no, like, is he-
here's the thing for me, and maybe she's a character that's real, but I could have traded out him for Aquafina for the comic relief going forward. I don't know exactly why she was there the rest of the movie. She was there, and it felt forced, kind of, that she was there.
well, Corey and I talked about that
Sidekick.
later on. Corey and I talked about her character overall didn't really need to be in the movie, right? I mean, like, what did she
Did he?
add? Yeah,
No, I felt it's kind of weird. Like I get the best friend thing, like they're friends and you get that connection to the real world or whatever, but like it seemed weird that she would be asked to join him. Like, what did she do that
Yeah,
deserves to be like, hey, come into this mythical, magical like sanctum of wizardry and like
even
let's
more
look at
so-
this thing together. Like, I don't know what she did to deserve that, but
Even
get
more
it
so
if,
in
like, that's
the
her, like,
mid-credits
best friend.
sequence too. I'm like, really? Her too?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. Like Wong's like, I'm gonna invite you, Shang-Chi, and this lady who shot an arrow, but yeah, you can come too. Like,
yeah.
it seemed weird.
An arrow
But
shot
like at
that
the
was-
same time, like I
The
get
arrow
she's
shot
like,
thing was stupid.
It was such a big target. Come on,
Fucking
I know it's
stupid.
far, but Jesus, it's a big target.
you
So,
knew it was coming. It was very much a telegraph
Yeah.
sequence.
So yeah, we have the not chase. Well, it's a little bit of a chase, car chase, I guess, getting out of the complex.
Mhm.
Chased
Yeah.
by the trees.
The electric
She was
car
there to be the
chase.
driver. That's it, man.
What's that?
Drove the
Driver,
bus,
gotta have the driver.
drove the
She's a hell of a
car.
driver. So hell of a driver. So she drives the electric car out of the complex, and yeah.
Somehow gets it spot on
Is that
to
her
the edge of a
first-
cliff
is that
somewhere.
her first electric car chase sequence in a movie?
Probably.
I
I'm
noticed that
thinking,
it-
I'm like,
I didn't notice it was supposed to be electric at all.
There was no sound. Did you notice there's no revving of the engine like they always have? Yeah.
No, I didn't notice that.
I did. I know electric cars, man. I love them. But yeah, so and I think that was like an X3 electric, but yeah. Anyway, so they drove out and decide to now. His father obviously is going to do his attack, whether he knows where he's going, and I guess they have to go at a certain time to this place. But what was the little thing called again?
Morris.
Morris knew exactly how to get there with a path. That whole path sequence was just awesome with Trevor. I thought it was great. I was laughing, like that whole sequence was just hilarious. I was laughing like crazy. Left now.
On the left.
And I just love that sequence, getting to the Lost City. So we get to the Lost City, and we get to meet Michelle Yeoh.
Pokemon.
Yeah, Michelle Yeoh's there now.
Mhm.
The aunt who knows them all, apparently. How did she know? That's my other question. Was like, I don't understand how she knew everything as well. So
I'm sure. I mean, it didn't go over, but I'm sure like she probably had some form of communication with the real. Maybe that's what Morris was for. Being the messenger or something like that.
maybe I just felt like she knows way too much for somebody who never left the city, a protected city which has no touch to they don't go into the real world at all.
Yeah, well, maybe the mom went back occasionally just to visit.
I gave her an update. That could be. We don't know that aspect. So,
Yeah.
and we get to meet the guy who, the old man who is set in his ways, but needs to train Aquafina as well. So I don't know. I like his. I actually like his character. I would like him to just make the shot himself. Sorry, I just was like, I like this character, the old man, the archer.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't.
Yeah, sorry guys, I gotta get. I have a work call. I'll try to get back on.
Sure.
I'll be back.
Yeah, we're moving through it, so that's fine. So yeah, we had that, and what else happened there? We had like a little training montage, almost, correct? Essentially, we had him learning about his mom's kung fu.
Yeah, and to me that was,
I almost expected him maybe. No, I don't think we did. I expected him to sort of get like the water or elemental control powers that his mother had from this.
Yeah, I expected that.
I guess he did not, so it's interesting.
I mean, he sort of did, but
yeah,
obviously
no,
it's
he
not
just
like
talked to a dragon Pokemon at the end. That's all.
It's Gyarados, by the way. So just so you know.
Yeah.
No, I got Dragon Ball vibes from the dragon, which I loved. But yeah, I just felt like I love that sequence because it kind of gave him like another combat style. So he's a closed fist, which was the father style, and then he learned about the open palm, smooth style of what was it, Wushu, I think it is, or Tai Chi, one of those two. And I'm not, like, again, Corey's martial arts expert, so I can't.
I feel like I've seen someone make that adjustment in some other movie before. I feel like I've seen that before.
The Matrix.
Is it it's possible?
Yeah.
It's
It
possibly
was the Matrix 100% during the Morpheus fight sequence in the I know Kung Fu.
Okay.
Weird. But yeah, so we have that, and then we have the invasion basically starting up. It was pretty quick there. They didn't linger too long in there. They moved the action along quite a bit in this movie to not linger on the story. In fact, the story wasn't a major part. It was more of the action. And so we get.
It's funny though, because the movie did seem a little longer than it actually was to me, but it might be because of all of the flashbacks. There were a lot of flashbacks in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, we do get his first kill kind of thing. We just skipped over that. And what happened with that, which he swears, huh?
Like he did.
Yeah, he just brushed right past it. They didn't do it. He just walked away. Then we found out later on he did do it, right? So he's not a good person. We found out here. We found this out here.
Yeah, but we didn't really actually see what he did. I thought we would go back to the flashback again to see like how that went down, but
I'm sure we'll probably get that later. But yeah, to me that was surprising just because, like, advertising like a new, Marvel MCU, centric character. It's like, oh yeah, he killed somebody before. It's like, oh, like
all the Marvel heroes kill everyone.
Well, not to just kill. Like, this is murder. That's straight up like murder. And I'm not saying like I disagree. I understand, but it's just like, yeah, I just fucking murdered this dude.
I guess we saw him like kind of kill like 5 people at least earlier in the movie. But...
Well, no, but that was self-defense. That there's a clear difference between self-defense, like, oh, you're attacking me while I'm trying to climb down this fucking skyscraper, and like, yeah, I'm just gonna kill this dude that killed my mom or is responsible for killing my mom. It's like,
yeah, I was almost looking for a line from Aquafina at that point where it would be like, yeah, he like killed your mom. Normal people wouldn't blame you at all. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad we didn't get like a stereotypical like best friend bullshit where it's like, it's okay or something like that. It was kind of like, yeah, I did this and I'm gonna have to do that to my dad. And he just walks away. I'm like, okay, like that was surprising to me. Or
yeah, he just kind
try to stop him or anything like that.
Yeah, so we had that, and then we had the father attack where we had a nice little action war sequence with the good guys versus the bad guys, and I don't know why at this point, but I knew they were joining sides. Like, I just knew it was going to be like, okay, here we're going to come together because they're going to fight the villain that's coming out of the whatever the fuck's in there,
are you a little disappointed that we're just like, oh, it's bats?
It's bats, and then there's a giant big looks like Cloverfield monster.
Yeah.
So we had that. We had the father, obviously, Mandarin. What's his name in this movie again? It's Wenwu. Punching the gates to get in, essentially, with Shang-Chi, which we passed over. Sorry, Shang-Chi, which was a great line from the movie. and our title of our podcast last week, for those wondering. And anyway, so we had him going over to stop his father directly, and the fight sequence is going on in between, with them having to join forces for the bats.
Solely,
essentially.
yeah.
I did like him punching the gates to open things up, and those would shake out essentially and kind of crack through it. But it did seem to take a while for him to crack through with his rings. I don't know. I guess
it's unspecified really how strong these rings really are. They just are. Yeah.
So we have him defeat his son on the way over there, throw him in the water. He thinks he kills him essentially, right? I mean, basically you're throwing him to die here to save his
wife.
wife.
In water for a long time.
Yeah, he was to save his wife. So we get him freeing the beast and the dragon coming back. Now, this is where Mike was probably talking about Pokemon, but it's more like Chinese mythology.
Yeah, but I mean, we also got like the Nine Tails, which I know is a Pokemon
based
on mythology already.
Yeah, I got you.
It's the world of Pokemon, pretty much.
It was a world of Pokemon, yes.
And what I mean is, so it sort of ceased to me to be a martial arts movie when we get to these giant CGI creatures just doing stuff while people are not really there. I would have preferred the climax to be more of a physical, like practical fight, but
did you think that the father, that he was going to die? I guess I don't know if I saw it coming entirely, but
yes, I did.
I didn't know his own dying that way.
I mean, I kind of hoped he wouldn't, because I feel like by then his character was interesting enough to keep around for the future.
That's why I was like, they're gonna kill the character off because it's like a comic book character, classic character. You know what I mean? Like,
but once he just committed to like fucking it up, it's like, well, he's gonna get it for doing that, for opening that up.
Yeah. So did they explain though why Shang-Chi could just control the rings? Is it that was his mother's water bending?
They didn't explain it explicitly. It's something you have to infer. So the whole first fight of the movie, when it's Wenwu and the mother fighting, she does that same thing. Like when he shoots the rings at her, she does her martial arts thing. The rings turn to that like yellow, gold, whatever color, and throws it back at him in like a ball attack.
I don't understand why it happened though. Like, I still don't understand why it happened. Like
that first time with her, I thought it was her, elemental powers that she's just held them in place. They were always going to go back to him though when she let go eventually. Him, it might be a little different because of lineage, maybe, or
it's probably a combination of either lineage and or location, because they're in like this mystical realm now, that we've never really learned or anything like that. But that was the whole point of the fight, was that he was trying to fight his father initially with just the training that he grew up with, which is the assassination 10 rings organization thing. And he was never going to defeat his dad that way with that thing, because the 10 rings just gave him too much of a power boost and stuff like that. So then that's when he realizes he needs to switch it up, because his aunt showed him how to pretty much counter that style.
So we get the father transferring the rings to him, obviously in the last bit of sacrifice, because his soul was getting sucked in by the giant creature.
Didn't that still all not work though? Didn't he still get his ass kicked? And then it was just the fact that the dragon was there at the end. That's what happened, right?
What? No, he punched him to finish him. The rings, like
the dragon saved him, and then the dragon was attacking the soul bats and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. But like Shang-Chi never got the better of the father until he was getting
he never defeated his father. No, I mean he was doing well. They were about a draw, I would say. I would say it's about a draw at that point. When he started commanding the rings, I would say it was about a draw. And then the creature came over and sucked the soul out of things, and which was
Shang-Chi he did get the better of him because he took all the rings. He took all the rings.
I thought he only had 5.
No, initially he only had 5.
But was this before he went in the water? Did he after he went in the water?
No, this was after he went in the water, because the dragon had to save him. And he had to ride the dragon. But I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but like he took for most of that fight, he took half the rings, and they were dueling with just 5 rings apiece.
I think he did, but then I think he lost them again when he got knocked away. Maybe.
I could have sworn he countered his dad's
He didn't get
whatever
knocked away
thing.
at all. He was on that platform with his dad the whole time.
But by the
thought.
time, no, but by the time the dragon comes out of the water, we're dealing with dragons. I don't think they were fighting anymore.
Yes,
No,
they
they
were
weren't.
still. The dragon was eating the bats. He wasn't confronting the monster yet. The monster had just come out, essentially. That monster kills his father as soon as it comes out, essentially. It didn't even go over the dragon yet.
Yeah, I'm confused by the sequence a little bit, but he definitely sort of intentionally gives him back all the rings.
Yeah,
when he's
he
about to die.
counters his move. He gets
But
all
I
the
don't
rings.
know if he had.
He
Did
had
he
all the
give him
rings.
all the rings at once?
Yeah, because he was doing that like the same ball attack or whatever that his mom had did way earlier, but instead of doing it to his dad, he just like throws him to the ground.
That's right.
He just-
That's
he just-
right. Yes, that is
to
what
prove
happened.
that he's like, I don't need to do
I
this. I don't need the
He throws
rings.
him away. Yep.
Right, he
Gives
throws
back
him
to
away.
And then his father gives them to him as he's getting killed.
Right.
To transfer them over. And I mean, we had the Aquafina moment with the arrow, with the dragon. We can't lose the dragon. We're all done. Which I didn't like, but whatever. That's just me. I thought that guy's
Yeah.
death was very, very abrupt. So I was like, holy crap. Like, wow, there they go. And her one shot, which was a distance, I guess, but a giant target for his throat. To
Yeah, I
stop
don't know
him
how
from
that. I
saying-
don't know. I feel like that would be like a razor nick for that dragon, but
Yeah. Movie
it's
magic. on that
interesting.
one.
You know,
Yeah, it's a
little.
Lord
It
of the
stopped
Rings
him
thing
enough.
with like the black arrow or whatever it is, and you know,
Silly.
I mean, it stopped him enough for Shang-Chi to do his
No,
shit.
it's just to make her important, really.
Yeah,
So-
and then it distracted the monster long enough for him to use the rings and destroy the monster essentially, and save the day.
Mhm.
So we had, I mean, that was pretty much the ending, and the ending is a little bit jarbled. You're right; it's not completely cohesive, but it's also dealing with mythological creatures, so it kind of gets like that. You know what I mean? Like giant creatures fighting each other, kind of get that way. It's not going to make
I
a
know.
ton of sense with the story. So yeah, we had him save the day, and anything else during those sequences? I think we're good.
I mean, after that, we're just to the mid and post credits, really.
Yeah, we
Like,
get
I don't
back
know
to
what
the
else happened.
friends. Back to
Got
the
back
friends
to
with
the friends.
Wong.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, so really quick. So the one thing I will say is like, to me, Wenwu was actually a really, really interesting villain to me because I'm not saying he's a good dude because he's not. Obviously,
No.
he's the head of a.
Well, he was good.
know.
He was good.
But
When
no,
gave up
no,
his rings,
he gave up all his things to be a family man, and stuff like that. But
he's a
to me,
sympathetic villain because
yeah, because the whole reason he's being villainous again is because he wants to rescue his wife, which he's being influenced by this. I forget the name of the creature, which apparently is a Doctor Strange creature, or the name of it.
I didn't know that. Okay, I don't know anything about Doctor Strange, so it's tough.
Yeah, and to me, he was kind of a tragic character because he said like even though he had dominated whatever portion of the world and stuff like that, he wasn't truly happy until he found his wife and had kids and stuff like that. Lost her tragically, and then it just seemed like like the sister had said, like anytime he looked at her, he was just reminded of his wife, so he didn't have a good relationship with her. And then after Shang-Chi killed the dude, then he's like just ran away for 10 years and stuff like that. So it felt to me like he was just like a dude that was like just lost to his tragedy.
Yeah, no, that's the tragic villain. I mean, that's it. I mean, it's
he was again like I got Ra's al Ghul sometimes is sympathetic too a little bit. So I got the same similar vibes with him. I did think it would have been interesting to find a way to keep him around, but
because
it was poetic as well.
Right, and because earlier in the movie, during one of the flashbacks, when he was like showing young Shang-Chi the rings, he's like, one day, if you prove you're worthy of these, I'll pass these on to you and stuff like that. And then right before he passes away, he has that flashback memory sequence of like his kids and stuff like that. So I was like, well, that sucks because like to me it felt like maybe like he didn't know how to be like a good dad kind of thing. And I think that
well, he was a conquering villain. So at the end of the day, he's still that guy, but he found a reason to want to be that guy. So it's like
again, that's kind of my thing. Like seemed like very kind of glossed over, like what exactly he did sort of back then. Like you get that opening sequence.
That's what happened to his wife, though. I mean, he lost his wife because of what his actions were when he was.
Well, I mean, that was like that seemed like a scene out of the Yakuza games. I mean, it's like oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens like that, but yeah, I don't know. It was obviously they're in the wrong. It's like, we're just going to kill your family because I don't know, you did something bad to our, criminal organization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So-
yeah, I just wanted to say, like, I thought it was a really, like, I don't know, I've never like felt bad for any of the Marvel villains, really, like too many of them. But it's kind of like
The best
sad to,
villains
like,
are the
see.
ones. The best villains are the ones you can sympathize with.
Right.
And I always think the best villains also have a pretty personal connection to the hero.
So
and
to the hero.
this
yeah.
one definitely did, obviously.
Yeah. So
But yeah, then we just get the mid-credit sequence. Well, before that, the final sequence of the movie I thought was funny because it goes back to the beginning of the movie where it's them going out for drinks and dinner with their friends.
yes. Yeah.
And then, I like this where Aquafina's retelling the story of like all the stuff. And I like how she even cited like some Dragon Ball Z shit or something like that. I thought
Yeah,
that
she
was
did say
funny.
that. Yeah, because the dragon
Literally,
reminded me
like
of Dragon Ball
Kamehameha,
Z.
yeah, exactly. And then the friend was like, "Come on, like I'm sorry about the last time, but you don't need to like
Yeah.
run us through the story." And you just see the teleportation
yeah.
fire circle thing. He's like
Mhm.
looking for Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
And then like everybody in the bar is just like Wong, stuff like that, and they just go there. But I love the mid credit scene. That was
The credit scene to continue that was great with Bruce Banner and
Captain
Captain
Marvel.
Marvel.
I was confused a little bit because I thought he would be
Beat the Hulk?
permanently Smart
Yeah.
Hulk.
Yeah.
And
But he
also,
wasn't.
I don't know how long afterwards he's still in a cast from that.
Again, this goes back to when did this happen? Like we don't know. Like is it 2023 or like
I don't know. It's confusing to me, but
what happens to him that he has to, his arms in a sling and he's not the Smart Hulk anymore?
I'm assuming his arm is still in the sling from using the gauntlet to reverse everything again.
Sure, maybe it's
but
permanently destroyed.
maybe, I don't know. But then again, yeah, he's not Smart Hulk anymore. He's just him again. I guess, are we to infer that he always could just sort of at will switch back and forth?
We knew that. I mean, yes, but he just stayed Smart Hulk because he just stayed always angry.
He said he combined the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And, I know that's a storyline in the comics or whatever like that.
So yeah, so we get that. We get Captain Marvel not knowing the origin of the rings. So we get a little foreshadowing of what that is. I
And
can't
she's
remember the
busy again.
name. Did
She's
she
always
say
busy.
Tal Shiar?
They asked, she said it's not Chitauri.
I thought she said Tal Shiar as well. That's why I was like, did she just say Tal Shiar? I couldn't remember. I hope somebody else heard it.
I thought it was Chitauri. Like
Maybe it was Chitauri. I just thought we should tell Tal Shiar. She said that. I was like, oh, really?
Yeah, and then he mentioned it wasn't vibranium.
Yeah,
It
something
It wasn't
like that.
vibranium. So maybe it is Tal Shiar.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe we're setting that up.
Yeah, they said it seemed like it was a homing beacon or whatever, setting some kind of signal.
Yeah, we don't
Or
know what
something
that
like
is.
that,
That's a
so-
mystery.
Yeah.
And then the post credits with his sister running the new.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. So then before that, I liked when like he's the Banner and Captain Marvel are like, all right, we got to go, and stuff like that. And then Wong's just like, all right, well, welcome to the club. You
Your
and
life
friend
is
better.
fucked.
Yeah, it's like your life's kind of fucked right now. So
Yeah.
you guys should go home and get some rest. And they're like, yeah. And they just go to the karaoke bar again. It's just like
I
Wong.
love
Back
that
with the
character.
Hotel California.
With Wong, yes. That was great.
The people in my theater laughed a lot about that, so that was a cool
Yeah.
sequence. But then the post credit sequence was the sister in charge of the Ten Rings organization now, which
now looks a little bit more like the Foot Clan.
mhm.
Yep. And
Little
female
more
involvement,
graffiti.
women involvement.
Yeah, but no, it still feels like, I don't know, with all the graffiti and stuff, it's like, oh, and like the sort of like hip hop style, it's like, oh, this is like the Foot Clan.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
But yeah, I guess she's supposed to be a villain going forward, maybe.
I would say
Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure it's going to be one of those things where it's like, like Shang-Chi took more after his mother, where the sister seems to be more following the lines of her father's footsteps, their father's footsteps. So I'm sure it'll cause some drama and whatnot and pop up
Yeah.
again in Shang-Chi 2 or whatever like that.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah. So overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I gave it an 8.5. I enjoyed the characters, except for Aquafina. And I enjoyed the martial arts sequences. I thought it was awesome for myself, like a new kind of style movie from Marvel, which is a martial arts flick. and great fight sequences that were watchable, not stupid like quick cameras.
Shaky cam.
shaky.
Yeah, I just hate that camera action.
I
So
would've-
this was great.
I would have even slowed it down a little more than they did in this. I know you don't want to go into. I don't mind it, but some people don't like the whole Snyder cut territory of everything in slow motion. I would have done a little more to see just what was going on in this, but I did like the physical fights in this a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. So yeah, so I really liked it. Tony, what'd you think?
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, strong showing for an origin movie. I mean, I got to put it up there with like Iron Man 1 and Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and stuff like that in terms of just like, hey, like there's a new character that you don't know anything about, and
It
taking
like,
a gamble, really, risk.
Yeah, it came through exactly like I was hoping.
Right.
The unknowns from Marvel have been really good.
Yeah. So Simu seems to be a pretty awesome dude, really funny on social media.
Yeah.
Really embracing the stardom and the the memes coming out from his old stock photo actor or poser days, model days. So excited to see what's in store for him, and really I hope the positive reception to all the martial arts choreography translates to future stuff, like if we're going to see more obviously of like the new Captain America, new Winter Soldier, whatever, with Black Widow and stuff like that. Like I hope they can retain this and implement some of that. Obviously, it's not going to translate 1-to-1 because it's not like kung fu or karate or something like that, but just more like, hey, you can clearly see the action, you see what's going on, you see the participants.
No, and that's again, like I did like the first half a lot with the action, and that is also kind of why I didn't love the idea of it just being a CGI spectacle at the end of the movie. Because I don't know, I didn't, and I understand why. Like obviously, I liked the whole mystical area and city, and it was fun to see and interesting. But I kind of I was hoping this would be more of a beacon for more practical fights for Marvel going forward. And well, we had some. I kind of wanted it to be built a little more on that, but still, it was real fun, real good. Ashley liked it probably more than I did because I think she really liked all the stuff at the end there. And what's the name of the place? Shala or something? I don't know what it's called.
Yeah,
I forget the name of the place actually. So yeah.
And but yeah, no, I would give it like an 8. I did feel a little bogged down by the flashbacks after a while. I understand why they're there, but they were so many that it gave the whole movie a feeling of being a little longer than it was, and not in necessarily a good way. But I did enjoy it, and I'm curious to see where they go with this, and hope as well that we get a little bit more of like some more martial artsy physical stunt work in Marvel.
I think
movies.
better action sequences going forward. I hope we get. So yeah. All right, that's going to wrap up this bonus round. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Write us allgeek@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe and like button. See you guys soon. We're out.